In this video, I'm going to show you 5 easy music lesson activities that will help you teach form in music. Hi there, my name is Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and I'm a music teacher with over 20 years experience in the classroom. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 easy music lesson activities that will help you teach form or structure in music. Form and structure are an important concept to understand in order to be a well-rounded musician, so these activities are essential for your students. Let's get started. 5 easy music lesson ideas to help you teach form in music. So welcome. As I said, we've got 5 lesson ideas for you to use while you're teaching form or structure in music. And I'll give you some suggested resources to use as well to help make your life even easier. So lesson idea number 1. Listen for the form of music. Now, I know this sounds really simple, but what I want you to start with first is choose a piece of music that has lots of repeating sections. So it could be something that's maybe monothematic. It could be something that has lots of little ostinatos, and get the kids to pick out those repeated sections. And then once you've got the idea, and they've got the idea of listening to different repeats, whether it be melodic or rhythmic, maybe chordal, then get them to start actually doing other things. Now, one of my favorite things to do is if you're doing the 12-bar blues is to give them a dance move for each chord. So for example, I like to use Wipeout, and of course it's great, surfing music song, and I teach on the coast, so kids are used to surfing, and we will give them ideas. And so they'll say, okay, so let's come up with a dance move. So one dance move might be swimming. Another dance move might be actually surfing. Sorry, it's a bit hard to surf there. And another one might be that one. Okay, sorry, my bad moves. But then we actually put it to the music, and so then they can actually hear the structure. So when they actually they will repeat the sections, repeat the dance move, they know that that's actually another repeat on the whole section of the 12-bar blues. But you could do this for anything. So whether it be binary, ternary, rondo, whatever you happen to be doing, you could have all these sorts of things going on. So again, listening for the form, but teach them firstly about repeating sections, and get them to listen for those repeating sections. And if you want to make it even better for them, connect those melodic ideas or those musical ideas to an action. Now, to even make this to extend this even further, give them a piece of music and let them come up with their own dance moves, or maybe even their own body percussion to go with, to show that they've got an understanding of structure. So it might be that they do a certain rhythmic ostinato for body percussion or certain action in one section, and then they move to a different action for the next section. So it's a really good way to get them to understand, because, but again, be wise in your choice of music. Make sure it's something that repeats so they can actually do something with the music. Number 2. Have your students identify the melody. Now, so it doesn't matter if you go either way with these ones. They're not in any particular order, but find the melody. So it's really hard sometimes for students to understand where that melody is or what it sounds like. And so sometimes you might have to say, okay, the melody in this song is being performed by the clarinet. I don't know. Could be the flute, could be saxophone, could be trumpet. I don't know. It could be anything, but get them to listen for the instrument that's playing the melody. So say, for example, you're listening to In the Hall of the Mountain King. Now, that repeats a lot, okay? But you might go, okay, the first time we hear it, what instrument can you hear playing that melody? Second time we hear the melody, what is it? Third time, etc. And bolero is another good one for that as well, so that you can, they've got to find the melody, find the instrument that's playing the melody, and then listen for when it's actually repeating. Anything that's monothematic or theme and variations is great for that. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, the theme and variations, I think it's 12 variations by Mozart, is another great one. So I know it's all on piano, most of it, but again, finding that melody. And again, move to harder pieces as you go. Lots of variety. Sometimes it's good to throw different songs at them that they're familiar with as well, so they can actually find the melody being performed by another instrument or something with music that they're actually familiar with, so they can hear the different sections. Number 2, once you've done those bits and pieces and you've pre-taught the vocabulary, try doing listening maps. Now, you can see this particular image here that's on the page here comes from my formal What is Structure in Music blog post, and you'll see that actual image, and you can see that's actually related to the song I'm a Believer. Now, I tend to use that song a lot with my year 7s at the end of our school year, because this is a good song to actually finish on. It's great for everybody to have some sort of participation, no matter what instrument they want to play. We can find something that they can actually do on it. And it's good just to map it out, because then we can go, all right, well, what about if we change the sections? Because we're not playing with the music. What about we go introduction, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, end? You know, and have a think about how we're going to do it. What instrument's going to play the solo? All those sorts of things. But the thing is, mapping a song, you don't have to do it with shapes. It could be, again, with letter sections. It could be anything depending on what you're doing. But again, firstly, pre-teach the vocabulary. And once you've got that vocab pre-taught, so they understand like song form or ternary or rondo or binary or whatever it happens to be, then they can actually start to map the song. It's easier if you do it together as a class, then get them to do it as a small group, and then get to do it individually. You'll find that you can really certainly see the actual progression of their understanding of a piece of music. It's a good way also, if you're doing maybe some sort of assessment, is to get them to, play a section of the music and just get them to map what they can hear in that part of the music that you're playing in the assessment. Number 4, compare form for 2 versions of a song. Now, this is obviously something I would do with older students. And again, you would have had to have taught a lot of information about form and structure before you get them to this point. Now, good way to do this is to find 2 versions of the one song. And sometimes you'll find that they actually do exactly the same sort of structure. Sometimes they don't, depending on the songs you actually choose. You can get them to map it out. You can get them to listen for what's actually performing melodies in each section, maybe what instruments are performing in each section, and they can have that comparison. Now, in my listening, Elements of Music listening worksheets for formal structure, there's questions in there that are great to guide students in that analysis and in that comparison activity. But again, it's another way of actually checking for understanding, that they can see how a song has been put together. And then hopefully they can actually put that into their own performances, in that they can choose which way to actually arrange the song. And I like to say to my kids, especially, just because a song's performed a certain way and in a certain order doesn't mean you have to. Classical pieces, probably you should, but pop songs, no, you do it and arrange it the way you want it to be done. So as I said, it's just a good way to get them to connect what they're actually listening to and studying in class to what they're actually performing as well. So again, you could do this as a research. You could also do another activity where you map one song together and then you send them off to go and find another song that's got the exact same structure. It's a good one. They tend to remember that more because they've had to go and find and listen to quite a few songs. So I said I find that's a really great lesson activity. Usually takes a while to do that one. Number 5, I said this is not taking very long today. Compose, given a particular form or structure. Now, again, you need to have pre-taught the musical forms that you want them to actually compose in. So say if you're only using binary and ternary and maybe rondo, I'd be probably using those 3. You might do monothematic, you might do theme and variations. For older kids, I would, but I would do binary, ternary, or rondo for those 3. Now, I like to give my kids, the first time we do this, the opportunity to play it and arrange it themselves informally, because composing doesn't mean you have to write it down. It's just the way that music's put together. Get them to actually give them a song or 2 or 3 songs and say, okay, you choose which songs you're going to use and you choose how you're actually going to represent those songs in the actual form that I give you. So maybe they're doing binary, they choose 2 of the 3 songs. I usually give them 3, especially if you're doing rondo, because you need the 3rd section, and then get them to actually play it. And then another way is to then go, okay, rest of the class, what structure are they playing? What songs did they play? What instruments were playing the melody? All those sorts of wonderful things. And again, extend it. You could actually get them to extend this by performing their arrangements or composing using music notation software. Now, one of the free ones when we're in lockdown. So as of recording, this is November 2022. But last year, when I had kids in lockdown, I actually gave them quite a few songs when we were doing structure. And I said, okay, here's some songs. I want you to compose something in rondo form. I don't mind which way you arrange them. And we actually used that Daniel Mario paint because I wanted to see if they could actually notate the melody exactly first. And then I got them to actually add other instruments, rhythmic parts and melodic parts, like harmonic parts to it as well. So it was really good to see what kids had a really good understanding of what they could actually do, and musical understanding. And I said it was a nice little fun exercise. Some kids really struggled, but they could at least do like an A and a B section and maybe make it ternary. They struggled to put in the C section. But as I said, it was just a really good exercise to see if they really understood what they were doing and if they could actually notate the way, like copy the notation that was actually on the sheet music into the actual program. I said, just a nice free version. I said, you know, it's a funny little program, that Mario Paint one, but I tell you what, the kids actually really like it. Alrighty, so I've given you 5 lesson ideas. Actually, I've given you a stack more because I've extended on each one of them, but here's some resources that you might want to use. So again, I talked about this before, but if you want to know more about structure or form, okay, I call it structure, but some people call it form. Go to my blog, JooyaTeaching.com, and you'll find a stack there, a stack of information that's free. Just go and find it. I've got lots of great information there. Explains all the different ones. It has diagrams and information and definitions and all sorts of wonderful things for you. Now, if you want to actually do that pre-teaching of the vocab, these definition worksheets are really, really good for that. So these ones, as you can see, like on this particular sheet, you've got monothematic, binary, ternary, song form, and just the different types of form. And then there's lots of different sort of worksheets to go with it. Like you can see, unscramble the words, find a word. There's actually matching terms and code breakers and all sorts of things actually in those ones. But they're really good. Sorry if you can hear the rain. It's absolutely pelting down at the moment. Again, you know how much I love my cards, but these music definition cards are really good, again, to get kids to actually use it. You might actually also use these to go, I'm going to play a piece of music. What structure am I using? Order them out, all sorts of things. There's different ways you can actually do this. And this is what I was also referring to, the listening worksheets. Now, these particular listening worksheets, the thing about this is there's different levels that you can use. So if you've got kids who are struggling a little bit and kids who need extension, there's levels to cater for both. And it's also got the comparison one. So comparison at a like at level 1 sort of thing, level 1 questions, and then the comparison at another one. And then there's also worksheets for talking about unity, similarities, differences, contrast, all that sort of stuff. Really good for extending kids and making sure they understand what actually is structure or form in music. So don't forget, you can find classroom ready resources over in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Go and have a look at Jooya Teaching Resources, and you'll find heaps. I've got like 600 products. Go and have a look. You can use the link. Actually, I don't usually put a link in there. I need to take that out. But go and search it over in Teachers Pay Teachers. You'll find heaps of things. Don't forget, if you'd like a free copy of the mind maps, which I've got in my, that's used in all my blog posts about the elements of music, go and grab yourself a free copy there at JooyaTeaching.com/free mind maps, all smooshed together. As I said, you get a freebie. And also, as I said, more information about all of the elements of music over there on my blog at JooyaTeaching.com. And let me stop share. So until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources. I hope I've given you stacks of different ways that you can actually teach form or structure in your classroom. Even if you only try one of them, it's something different maybe to what you actually are doing. Hopefully your kids will enjoy it as much as my kids have, because as I said, these are things that I've used in my own classroom that work. And hopefully they will work for your class as well. So as I said, until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources. Bye.